All right, everybody, I am back. I've got a little two-part segment here. One is something that happened just a couple of weeks ago, and the other is something that was, probably from a year and a half ago. Uh, so there is a little theme that I've sort of linked together here. We're going to start. This is a video, one of those 2 a.m. raids that Daisy is right in the middle of, where the police come and they shuffle the homeless people off of the sand middle of the night. This is part of their the ramp up concept, which is supposed to discourage them from camping on the beach. And then they come right back again. But they're doing it more often. And apparently, I think this worked to a point because Daisy finally got housing, which I think is a good thing. She shouldn't be out there in a tent all night, night after night. But I mean, this is the best LA County can come up with, is spending millions of dollars going out there every night, shuffling people off the sand, and then they come right back again. Same with those bathroom clean outs, week after week. Instead of coming up with some new idea, a new way to handle this, uh, they just spend millions on cleaning and then they come right back. So anyway, we know all that. All right, she is out there right now with some people standing around waiting until they can go back out onto the beach. And of course, this is her opportunity to preach a sermon to everybody about the biodiversity, and we have to have a place for She comes out there and starts talking about how we have to accommodate animals, and create habitats for animals. And I'm kind of moving past that part a little bit. We're going to hear a bit of it because it's just, we've heard this so many times. We know what her plan is. And what happens in this is there's another homeless lady out there standing around, and she's kind of giving her opinion on it, which is kind of like, well, look, if they want us to move, let's just go ahead and do that for now. And boy, Daisy does not like that. Of course, we know she does have issues with different opinions. And I was trying to find this video that I just watched where she is saying that she wants to learn she wants to listen and be more open to what other people have to say, which is a good idea. Doesn't happen in this video. So let's watch what happens here when she is offered a different opinion on these migrants.
Yeah, like if you see the giraffes are thirsty, you'd be like, let's make a water lake. Oh yeah, of course. Same with the humans. If the humans
I see someone cold, I put a blanket on them. You know
like if the elephants have no home, let's create an area for them. Don't make any picture be homeless, but instead we'll allow pigeons to live in muck, have nowhere to drink water. Same with the squirrels. Let's not even talk about humans' basic needs. What about the needs of biodiversity? There's only one permitted plant. How do I know that? I planted biodiversified gardens and watched them get bulldozed.
I say one thing. So it's all it.
Can you say one thing? Try. Go ahead. Let's see if you can. The biodiversified gardens that she's planted, we're going to see that. That's what I grabbed from this. Looks like with TikTok, I'm going to have to keep this in the middle if I want to stop.
We got to come together to create a biodiversified medicine planet. It doesn't matter because we have to come together and wake them up. Because we want it to be Avatar downstairs, a beautiful biodiversity. We want a different meat and a different plant every day. And I don't consent to scarcity. I consent to a revolution of love.
It's interesting because these are like probably the last people anywhere that could actually help her with this. These are people that are like, they are in survival mode. They don't even have like a computer or any way to communicate. If they have a cell phone, they're lucky. But she's rallying up these people who, look, man, they don't have the time and resources for these larger projects in life. They're trying to survive day to day. I don't know if she keeps talking to the same people.
Let's do it.
But the thing is like you got to prepare yourself for whatever they're going to go against the love. Because with love, there comes hate.
That's true.
A lot of hate.
That's true.
I'm all about love.
So you got to honor their capacity like I did. When they said they were at their capacity. Give them space or else. Yeah. And I know, okay, they're at their capacity. Let me give them space.
Okay, so like
I'm not gonna enemy image them. I'm actually gonna send them love, and as I go away, I'm gonna leave a love tornado in the way.
But I also in a sense, I also give them by showing them love. I do what they ask before they ask me.
But that's how.
That's smart. Okay, Because basically what she's saying, look, I respect what they're doing. They're here to, they have to move us off and whatever. And she's willing to work with it. Okay, this particular lady over here is willing to work with that. She understands.
You do it. That's how you do it. I'm Daisy. I'm Daisy, the Venice healer. I'm here to awaken and unite the humans. And I need others to acknowledge my meaning and purpose and either get behind me and support it or get out of my way.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
That's what I want. And that is my meaning and purpose. You're not helping me.
Yeah, wow, look at this. Look at this. She goes from trying to rally, unite, and inspire a group of people to her cause. And now it just turns into this explosion.
You're giving me unsolicited fucking advice, when it's not asked for. So I don't, yeah, but give someone else your advice. I'm not asking. I love.
Well, how many people in those apartments, night after night after night, asked to listen to her on the bullhorn, yelling, intentionally trying to upset them because they can pay for those apartments to sleep in? See, it's the one-way street that we've seen so many times. Is it's okay for her to disrupt, upset, contradict, point things out. You do that to her, and boy, there is hell to pay.
Have your fucking wisdom. Help someone who cares. No one wants to hear.
Say no one wants to hear. Well, just like I said, that didn't go so well, did it? Huh?
It's not helping me. I need to be talking to the cops right now.
Think about this. There's a 43-year-old woman out on a skateboard in the middle of the night. She's got to talk to the cops. It's like she's, it's like, why? Why are you not like, at home relaxing or sleeping or whatever, or sucking on your bong? Whatever, anything. But she's got to talk to the cops. About what? Nothing's going to change. They have their system that they're doing. And her zipping up on her skateboard to talk to the cops, such drama, is not going to amount to anything. Business as usual for the police.
Right. That triggered me. So we got meaning and purpose. We got universal. And we gotta do those. And also, that was way too like that. I don't want to be like that. But the parts of her that annoy me were actually affecting me too much. She has a very strong opinion. I don't want to hear her opinion though. I don't agree.
I don't want to hear her opinion though, because I don't agree. But everybody has to sit and listen to Daisy all day long. Well, this is one of the mental blocks that she has. It could be, if we're going to take this from an analysis angle, that, look, she grew up in an environment where she was never right. Okay, according to her, now I can only go by what she said. I think when she was trying to speak and let people know about what was going on with her, all that bad stuff that was happening to her when she was growing up, nobody would take her seriously. Nobody would listen to her. And I think it's just a very, very difficult area of her just getting along with people, that she just shuts out anything that contradicts her, because she had not been listened to for so long, and never had an equal say, never had a voice, I guess. So now perhaps this noise that she makes these days is kind of it's trying to compensate for years of not being heard. I don't know. But then what it does is it ends up, other people don't get heard. You know what I mean? It kind of proliferates the issue. It carries on the problem, just pushes it off to other people. All right, we've moved to the second part of this, and we have been joined with, remember good old Jeff Perricone? This was the prince, and they got married. I guess it was her first actual real marriage. She never married any of the fathers of her children, I believe. from what what I'm trying to understand about all the when she talks about herself. Okay, so here this is uh, it says a year ago, but it may be longer than that. This was from the summer of 2023, I think. Yeah, because she was with what's this, John last summer. Okay, so we're going to continue along the theme of her biodiversity, and she had mentioned that her garden that she would plant was bulldozed by the city. They spent money to bring a bulldozer down there and tear up her little plants. That's what they did, didn't they? I don't think I remember that. So let's pick this up, and we are going to listen to her talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to move back to her and the prince, her perfect prince, and I want to look at that for a few minutes. So it's just like a blast to the past here. Here we go. Turn this.
That's like okay. For some reason, the video shut off by itself. So this is the garden that Wa or Daisy is trying to protect, and it looks like okay, so she's playing.
Okay, now this wouldn't even work. I mean, this is not going to be sustainable in this environment. It's a very public place. Uh, I don't even know. I mean, vegetables and fruits and everything never really grew by the beach. Maybe coconuts, but not out here in Southern California. This isn't, anytime you set up a garden for, vegetables or whatever, it's going to be artificially contained. She's not like repopulating the area with what once used to be there. This is all going to be a construct. But with I mean, okay, she was I believe she had such rough stuff happen to her that she is in this overcompensation state, where everything has to be taken to an extreme on the other end with beautifying and almost this fantasy utopia that must be created or must be brought back, um, because it's all part of the extremes that I guess she feels she has to move into in order to heal herself. So then this becomes an extension of her own healing, which I think we understand, but it goes so overboard. And it's very repetitious about when she talks about all the biodiversity. There were never any bears on the beach, and I don't believe there were any otters here in Southern California. But that's the idea. That's the idea.
So this Swiss chard, there just happened to be a hole here, and this Swiss chard, I've known the Swiss chard since they were a tiny little seed, and we planted. Remember my garden at Navy Street? Yes. So we planted the Swiss chard at the garden there.
Well, it doesn't look like it's doing well. I do a lot of gardening. It's really not the right environment for well, it doesn't. Yeah, it's pretty wilty there.
The city bulldozed it, and I found
they brought out a huge piece of machinery for this thing.
Over a year ago, this Swiss chard is more than a year old. They pulled
is it over a year old?
The planter, and this beautiful baby survived. And
so this is how it is surviving, because it looked like it was on its last leg. But I don't know anything about plants.
This is how Swiss chard supposed to look, and look
okay.
This is what I want to show the humans. No, none of the birds, none of the bugs cut the plant. None of the bugs take a whole leaf. They only take what they need. They don't take more, they don't take less. They take a bite.
Yeah, but that can still kill the plants. I mean, if you do garden yourself, you understand that. Well, where do pesticides come from? But yeah, animals completely destroy plants. You ever had gophers in your yard? They could take the whole plant. So this is not. I understand where she's coming from. Like humans just raise and destroy and wreck and uproot and alter everything without a thought to how we're. Which sure, that's correct. We're altering the environment, and the animals just take what they need. They don't take in excess the way people do.
They eat and then
that's the idea here.
So that other birds, other bugs can come and eat. They can come and have some more tomorrow. And this Swiss chard for more than a year has been feeding our friends. There's a mulberry tree. Unlike this
our garden pests, our friends.
Chard where friends can eat from it all year long. The mulberry tree, you can only eat mulberries starting in March and then April and then May. And then elderberries come in May, but not any more mulberries
Okay.
Every year, I know I can go visit that mulberry tree.
But I gotta interrupt. I want to go back to your relationship with Prince. Real name Jeff, right?
Jeffrey.
And I want to know, and I think people of Venice want to know, with this, it sounds like you're wanting half the time not in a relationship, spending the nights here in Venice, watching over your garden or whatever you're going to be doing, and then also setting up your tent during the day. Sounds like a lot of time not with Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff's kind of he was an interesting character. He went through a lot, and a lot of it was recorded. Those videos, I think, are all taken down. Yeah, there was some wild stuff. That was an interesting little time period because she wanted to live stream all of their arguments and fights and drama, and you know, yeah, she was really, it wasn't a love tornado that ripped through his life, and I don't really understand quite where he was coming from, how he thought this was going to work. He did have that little departure video that he made. I've got a link to that. It's where he set up the cam just one time. And he talked for maybe about 30, 40 minutes, gave his point of view. And, he seemed to kind of get what was going on. But, he seems to be a fellow here in these videos that has fairly low affect. Kind of hard to get a read on him, kind of quiet, you know. But yeah, she really did a number on him. And again, I don't quite understand what he felt he was going to get out of it. But, you know, at the beginning of relationships, they got married very quickly, didn't they? People have a lot of hope. But here, it's that she didn't want to stay in the apartment all the time with him. She had to, she's got to spend time out on the beach, a lot of time, and sleep out over there, overnight out there too. Distance lends enchantment.
Yeah, but doesn't Jeff have to work?
Yes, but this is who I am. For 3.5 years, I've been building my temple. When I brought my beautiful wood here, the rolled up wood, I have 6 rolls. I have these wood chips, like a couple hundred of them, a lot.
He's back there looking at his cell phone. What? It's interesting, the dynamics. Is this like unique to Southern California? Do we just have like a huge variety of personalities and extremes? And I don't know what it is. It's sort of like what again? What was he trying to get out of it? What did he think he was going? I guess I was asking. Sorry, one more time. I'm thinking about her phone call with Cross a few weeks ago. And it's like, what are these? How do these men feel that having her in their lives is going to either work out, or how is this going to work? It's a very small world that she exists in, a very tight, small world, and they gotta orbit around her. It's not a mutual, it's not really on equal footing.
And I had not seen this wood for 3.5 years, and magically, days after I brought my wood to the beach a couple weeks ago, this wood started reappearing. And I have like 12 pieces of it. Maybe 4 pieces here, 4 pieces here.
Yeah, I remember you discovering all that wood.
It was incredible. So what I do is magic. And when I met Prince.
Okay, so what? See, you keep jumping off the subject.
Yeah, that is one thing she does a lot. That's just the way her mind is. Hard for her to stay focused and complete ideas. And see, that's why that thing, A Call to Love LA, that she and John were tippity tapping on the computer. I watched that the other day. Maybe I'll do a little talk on that. Where they're busy typing out all the goals, all the things they want to do, all the services they're going to offer, but then it just trails off. Whole thing just trails off the way her thinking does. Because if you're going to start an organization or any kind of business or a yoga studio or something, you can't trail off. You got to have the whole thing contained in a box. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have it from A to Z. You got to have it figured out. And, this is kind of, trailing off. Free form.
Met Chris, and you fell in love with each other, and you got married. A marriage seems to me like you can't spend half the time away from each other. And it sounds like that's what you're planning on doing. That's the bottom line. To me, that's what it sounds like.
How do you feel about that? I think whatever that you want to do, I think personally, would you prefer I be at home with you? First, I'm not going to. I want to do what you want to do.
Okay, see, this is the stuff that wears men out. Okay, this guy would prefer that he has a woman who wants to be at home with him. That's why people, get married, get into relationships or whatever, because you want the companionship and the connection, and they're going to be there and you're going to share things together. And he's just saying, well, yeah, of course, I'd rather have you at home, but I know this is this is where the problem's going to start here. This isn't what he really wants. He's not happy with this, but he's willing to, stretch his expectations to the breaking point, I guess.
I see. And is it painful for you when you hear that I still, after having met you, like you see this?
Is it painful for you to know? Isn't it sort of like emotional porn a little bit? There's all this sort of, it's almost like an indulgence in, how do you feel? Is this painful for you? Is this, you know what I mean? It's like nothing ever gets resolved. Okay, we're just gonna like, wallow in all this emotional drama because it's fun to talk about and fun to see people react and dig into their psyches. But then ultimately it's not constructive. This never got resolved. In fact, it exploded basically at the end. The only thing it was gonna do.
You wish that I hadn't had a change of heart after meeting you and that I wouldn't want to sleep with the beach anymore. I want to understand. If that's necessarily it. I just, things changed. We got married and we made new moves together, so I thought that we want to build our home together and want to make moves for the time there. But, that's what I want. And if you want to be different, like didn't judge you or treat you for what you're looking for. I just,
So now that you hear that he'd rather you be at home, how do you feel? I mean,
what about the squirrels?
What about Jeff? What about?
All right, your relationship's probably in trouble when you're asked, well, what about your husband? Well, what about the squirrels? Okay. Again, I have to ask. This is the same thing I asked about Cross. What was he trying to get out of it? What did Prince want to get out of this? Why was he doing this? He knew, there's a huge conflict here. What did he see in the future?
Jeff, okay.
Jeff knows where to find me.
So Jeff has to go out to find. Yes, he has to make the effort.
All right.
Yep.
I work so. It is.
Right.
Darling, you have been awkward and you know where I am. And I want my husband by my side.
Wow, listen to that. I want my husband by my side. You better get out here to the beach. I'm not going to you. You got to come to me. See? You got to orbit around my world. Some people are like that. Narcissists are like that. Everything is very much so. It's got to revolve around them. They are the center show. They are the center of the universe. You come to them. That's the way it has to be. And this didn't last very long. I don't know why they decided to actually get married. Why didn't they just kind of move in together, which would be bad enough. It was bad enough.
Well, I'm a superhero.
Okay, hey, do me a favor. Give each other a kiss and a hug, and we'll end the video. Lovely. Lovely. All right, kids.
Okay. I love and release you, everybody. All right. So, what do we have to say about this? That's going to be it for now. For what we know, Daisy's got she's got her little pen full of men. She's got a new men friend in her life right now. She is housed. Okay. We're not hearing too much about that from her yet. She has not been streaming from that location. This is not just this is the interesting thing. She is in a place that provides counseling. It's more of an insulated thing. It is not a public apartment like, where John lived, where there's a whole bunch of different people in the different apartments next to her, because she has been known to make disturbances, upset people. Prince the same fellow here, had to move out of his first apartment because of her outbursts and angering the neighbors and causing problems, fight. I don't know what. He'd been living there for 8 years and he had to move. So then they ended up at that other place where, there was this major flip out going on. It just all imploded. And she was also upsetting some people where John was living. There is actually some footage of that. Uh, Somebody flipping her off or something. I don't know. They didn't like her. So now she's in a place where it's only people who are in transition, homeless. It's uh, with counselors. So she's kind of away from. I don't say she's away from the general public. It's just a different arrangement. So maybe there'll be less strife there. There won't be. There's probably getting the rules. So anyway, I am glad to see that she's not in a tent that is not safe, just purely, well, just being a person out there, but being a woman. I'm sure she can handle herself, but not a good idea. So she's got housing. And we're going to move along and we will see what the next adventure will be with Daisy. This is a little bit of a blast from the past. That's it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.